You can get your manifestations instantaneously. And it actually probably happens to you all the time already. You just don't recognize it and you don't know how to apply it to other areas for one reason that I'm going to share in this episode. Hey, everybody, let's dive into another episode on manifestation. But before we really get into it, I want to invite you to Overflow. Overflow is a 3-part workshop that I'm doing later this month to help you bring in an overflow of abundance into your life. Now, there are 2 levels to this workshop. The first level, you attend live. You get limited access to the replays. The second level is for $47. You get lifetime access. That's right. You get lifetime access to the replays. Now, it's 3 calls. They're going to be about 90 minutes each. Yes, there may be a little hypnosis or reprogramming in this workshop. I love that so much. But the key is we're going to walk through helping you create an overflow of abundance in your life. Because let's be honest, deep down inside, who really wants just enough, right? So, what is this about instantaneously manifesting what it is that you want? This is something that is completely possible. It is totally possible for you to manifest anything instantaneously within 24 hours. And there are a couple of components to manifestation. There is energy involved in manifestation, but more importantly, there is belief. There is belief. Now, if you've ever driven into a parking lot somewhere, and as you turned into the parking lot, you thought to yourself, I'm going to get a parking spot right next to the door. And as you're driving up the parking lanes, it's busy as it can be, and boom, there is the parking spot right next to the door. In that moment, did you recognize that you manifested that? Or did you believe you just got lucky? That's a big one. Do you believe you manifested it? Or do you believe that you just got lucky? Now, you may believe you manifested it, which you did. You did manifest that, but you might think, well, Penny, that's not the same thing as manifesting a contract. That's not the same thing as bringing money into my life. That is the belief, one of them, that is keeping you from instantaneously bringing into your life what it is that you want. Now, manifestation can be multifaceted. I do not believe that you have to be in a high vibration all the time to manifest. That is not human nature. However, you have to be open to what it is that you want to come into your life to come in however the universe would like to provide it to you. You have to be open to it coming however you would like it to be provided to you. I've had so many manifestations in the last 2 weeks that came in very surprising and unexpected ways. And I'm going to give you an example of what my pre-manifestation mindset would have been on one of these and what my current mindset is, because I'm willing to bet that this is going to ring true for a lot of you. We can have these ways of thinking and these ways of being that insidiously slip into our habits of thinking and speech and acting that will undermine what it is that we want to create. what it is that we want to manifest, what it is that we want to attract into our life. So, what is this example? My next hypnosis certification training starts in February, and there are student materials that have to be shipped out. And sometimes I have students who are international. And let me tell you, it can be a bear sometimes shipping internationally. And in the past, I've used a certain company that drove brown trucks with a little yellow logo. And I was becoming increasingly frustrated because they would give me an estimate for delivery. And then when my bank account get charged, sometimes what I actually got charged would be double. It would be double because by the time it went through the processing center and they processed the payment, they revoked the business discount code or whatever was happening. Because there are some items that I ship that if the shipping exceeds a certain amount, we're talking small items, if the shipping exceeds a certain amount, I do not make that service available to my clients. So recently, I shipped something by the Brown and Yellow Company. It was a $9 book. Okay. And this is where we have to be careful, mindful, have our attention, our awareness on what we're saying and what we're thinking. When I plugged in for the shipping, it came in at under $100 to ship this $9 book. Okay. I shipped it and sent it out because mentally I have a cutoff. And I know that this shipping in some instances can become expensive. So I make sure that my client fees can't absorb that. But there is a limit to that. There's something called margin in business. If you're not in business, you won't understand, but there is something called margin because you cannot operate a business and pay yourself if you're operating at a loss. So I had made this available to this person. Well, when the everything flowed through, they charged me double to send a 7-ounce book overseas. It's something that had just really had been grinding my gears. And after that happened, I was really frustrated. I was actually aggravated and angry about the whole thing. And I had attempted to work with them on other things. And I realized, I'm like, you know what? There's a better way. There's a better way. I'm going to research and find what's better. I didn't want the energy anymore. Did not want that energy. So I took some action. I did some research because I had a student who's overseas that I needed to send a package to, and I start doing the research. And no matter who I was connecting with, like nobody was shipping. And then it dawned on me at the time, this individual was in an active conflict zone and none of the carriers were shipping. So I just set my intention that it was all going to work out. I reached out to who I'm licensed to train with to say, look, I have a student in this unique situation. If shipping does not open back up, how can we provide them with the training materials until it does? Because all the websites say they're not going to revisit opening up freight delivery to this part of the world until April. And that's after the training. And that this is not going to be obviously acceptable. And this person needs to train in the February training due to religious observances. So they're like, you know what? When the time comes, if it can't ship, we will make everything available online so that they have access until that opens back up. So what did that do? That immediately decreased the resistance. So I went looking at another carrier and I found something that really worked for me. And it was a lot easier than dealing with the brown truck. So here in the US, I did have some reservations because here in the US over Christmas, there were instances of their drivers dumping their packages out on the side of the road in the ditches. But something kept telling me, no, this is right for you. This is the move to make. So I went online right before Christmas, and wouldn't you know, tensions, there's been a ceasefire and shipping was opened back up. So I went in, I prepared the package, and the shipping for the package, the estimate came in at the discounted rate for the brown and yellow carrier, because the brown and yellow carrier would have put it at close to $500, and there would have been a discount that would have put it down to this rate. I shipped the package expecting the shipping to be at this level, and I was very appreciative, keyword appreciative, that it was only costing X number of dollars to send this package. The invoice comes through my bank account and I see this amount. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I thought they charged my card immediately. Like, is this an extra charge? Is this a surcharge? I go through everything. No, no, it was $30 cheaper to send it than the estimate that they gave me. Now, some people will come back at that and they would have the attitude, well, you know what, as much as I've been paying for shipping, it's about damn time. You're damn straight, it should have been cheaper. You know, no, I saw it as a manifestation. I immediately celebrated. Yes, thank you, universe. Thank you for putting this money in my pocket, because in my head it was already gone. You know, I'd already sent it out in years. Thank you for bringing this money back into my pocket. So look at everyday things. Are there places where you resent spending money? Are there places where you have spent or invested and then maybe they give you a bonus or your rates go down? Are you spiteful when that comes into your life? Or are you appreciative? Are you appreciative? Those are manifestations. They're manifestations. I have told a story so many times, and I'm going to tell it again, about manifesting a dumpster in my yard. And it was through casual conversation in a coaching group, because my husband loves to hang on to things. Any plastic container that's clear that you can see through, he is going to save it, among other things. Among other things. So I had just kind of like made a post sharing my experience. And the point of the sharing was that I have come so far. I had come so far in my transformation that I did not allow that to bother me. I let him be him. Yes, I would ask him to pick things up and move things, but I'll let him be him. And it wasn't no longer this point of needing to be right, that he didn't need to keep all these things. And, you know, somebody who was also a student in the group, we're not supposed to coach each other, but they come in and they're trying to coach me because they don't know me. It's their first round. They're like, well, how long are you going to put up with this? And I was like, you don't understand. My husband supports me 100%. That man stood behind me when I quit work to go to anesthesia school. He has stood behind me when I decided to open a hypnosis practice. He has stood behind me when I left an almost multi six-figure anesthesia career, plus not quite vested in a state pension, to open my business. And instead of having, air fingers quote, what people think is a secure job, to having all the responsibility come back to me. He supported me. I'm like, I'm not going to fight with him over freaking clear peanut butter jars. However, there are days when I would love to have a dumpster in my front yard. And when he's not looking, I just load that bitch up and throw lots of stuff away. And he would never even miss it. I said that, I dropped it energetically into the universe, forgot about it, 6 weeks later, I'm wrapping up at the office. I open up my phone to send him a message to say, hey, I'll be home in 15 minutes. And there is a text from him going, the shop is on fire. The shop is on fire. I'm calling the fire department. Once the fire inspectors had come and the insurance adjusters and all of those things, what do you think happened? He had to order a dumpster to clean up. I manifested that. I manifested the dumpster. That's one of multiple occurrences that has taught me I have to be specific in my manifestations. I should have said I want to rent a dumpster to clean up, not just I wish I had a dumpster, because um the universe gave me the dumpster. He gave me the dumpster. I don't necessarily like how it came either. Okay. So just to share that with you, that was about 6 weeks, but your manifestation can come instantly. It can come overnight. There have been times where I have gone to bed at night and I'm like, I give it over to you. I am calling it a miracle. This thing is that I'm ready to receive this tomorrow. However you bring it to me, I'm ready to receive it tomorrow. And I have brought in 5-figure clients like that. Okay. I have brought in people registering for my training like that. Um, there are just all kinds of things that you can call in instantaneously. But if you don't believe it can happen, if you feel like you need to control how it happens, if it doesn't look a certain way, are you discarding it? Are you not appreciating it? Are you not recognizing it for what it is? These things all impact your manifestation. We were created by the creator in the creator's image, which makes us creators. We're co-creators. We're co-creators. In the case of when I moved away from the brown and yellow carrier, I took some action. I did something to help it. I followed my intuition. Some of the greatest things that have happened for me have come out of me taking inspired action. And that doesn't always mean working in the business. It doesn't always mean working in the business. That's all masculine, and that's a whole other story for another day. But what would you bring in your life if you could instantly manifest it? Do you believe it's possible? If you don't believe it's possible, how come you don't believe it's possible? What is causing you to resist it? Because I'm telling you, if you don't have it, it's because you're creating the energy through thought, belief, or action that is keeping it from coming in. You can be in the worst of places and set an intention and call something in and just let go of attachment to it. And it will show up in your life. It will totally show up in your life, right? That painting is an example. If you're on YouTube, you see the painting that I got for Christmas, the painting that was marked as not for sale, that showed up for me at Christmas. So that is what we're talking about here today. What's in your way? What are your beliefs? What is your identity? Where are you resisting? Where are you energetically? Are you angry, ungrateful, frustrated for the money that is going out of your life? Every bit of money that flows out of your life, that money is flowing out either to support you in the present or in the future, or it's flowing out because someone trusted you enough to loan you or let you receive in advance something else and you were trusted enough to pay for it after the fact. If you have a car and you drive on the roads, don't resent your taxes. If fire and police support you, don't resent your taxes. If you don't have kids but you get pissed because you have to pay taxes to support your local schools. If you want people in your community educated and intelligent enough to serve you in business, to go on to become those police and firefighters and teachers, you better appreciate what you're sending out. I'm not saying you have to like how your government spends it, but appreciate that it is going to support you where you are. And if you don't like how it's spent, take some of your money and put it in the direction that it can facilitate changes in that area. Don't put yourself in the energy of fighting that 3D battle. Don't put yourself in the energy of fighting that 3D battle because it will suck you down, it will pull down your energy, it will affect your complete attitude and ability to manifest. If you always feel like all of your money is going to XYZ, then guess what you're manifesting? All of your money going to XYZ. If you walk around saying it always goes out as fast as it comes in, guess what? You're never going to have extra money to hold. Change that mindset. Join me for overflow. Let's get into this. Let's dissect it. Let's do some hypnosis together. And when you invest $47, you keep lifetime access to the 3-part workshop and the hypnosis audios that go with it. Let's do this. And if you're on the other side of this and you're like, hey, I want to know how to help people do this. How do you help people break these beliefs? Well, then that's the hypnosis training. That's what you want to look into. I'll put all the links below, but right now I'm setting my intention that all of you listening to this, you're going to be like, absolutely. Yes, I want in for this because what do you have to lose? You come in, you see blind spots in your thinking, or you recognize there are ways that you're thinking that are causing you to be angry, sad, unhappy, and how those simple shifts of thinking create that unhappiness in your life, and that you can change that. At worst, you're able to shift your way of thinking. Okay? At worst, when you invest, you shift your way of thinking. At best, you're instantly manifesting. Or, I mean, you don't have to do any of it at all. You can choose to stay where you are. And we're all on our own path. So, I mean, if that's preferable right now for you to stay where you are, that's okay. I totally and completely respect that. So the link is below, pennychiasson.com/overflow. Reserve your spot, get your lifetime access because the price is going to more than double when the masterclass workshop is done. 3 days, 60 to 90 minutes each day. And I will see you there.